Left that way on longer than I meant to. I was trying to do something that I forgot to do when I was pushing the buttons. So I was meant to push a button and then change something and then record the thing. Hang on. See, I would say something about amateur hour, but amateur 10 minutes would be closer to factual. Anywho, so the title is Chickpea. So for a while I was working at a service station. So just a checkout chick would just, punch buttons, make smart-ass comments to people, which wasn't really ideal. In fact, when we got new people trained, they would tend to put them on with me with the instruction, don't do what Jeff does, because as much as I rub people up the wrong way, I'm legitimately contrite when I upset people. My intention in life is not to upset people. That's not precisely true, but most people I don't want to upset, and things that are meant to be in good fun should be in good fun. We shouldn't all get hyper concerned about things that either we can't change or that are actually symbolic of what's actually going on. So, okay, maybe dead baby jokes aren't funny, but sometimes they get made. There was a bunch of meatloaf jokes over the last couple of days. R.I.P. Big Guy. Some of the best albums in the 70s. Really, really good, and I enjoyed your parts in some of these films as well. So, Mr. A Day, peace out, bro. But I wonder if the dashboard lights are guiding him home to paradise. Who knows? Or if he's just waiting for the end of time to hurry up and arrive. Who knows? Although he doesn't have to spend all that time with that person that he was waiting for the end of time to get away from. But whatever. Not the point of the story today. The point of the story today is chickpeas. So working in the servo, it was always in the service of going to uni and studying film. Now, I didn't necessarily feel when I was studying film that I needed to study film, but because I keep to myself a lot, because I don't necessarily follow through on things, I thought, well, I get a bachelor's out of it in film. So maybe that will be a good thing. Maybe that's something that I can use. Maybe it will get me a job. But at the end of the day, being really, really good at something and having your portfolio out there in this industry is what gets you work. And I don't have a portfolio, and anything that would be put in my portfolio is reasonably crap anyway. Not because I don't think I'm capable, but because I haven't put the time and effort into things, and there's jobs that I'm just incapable of doing or don't like doing, therefore not going to do them as well. One of my mates from uni, really, really, really good cinematographer. Another mate from uni, really, really, really good focus puller. They've got good gear to do all this sort of stuff, but because they are professionals, it would be something that would require me to pay them. And two problems with that. One of them, I don't have money to pay anyone. And two, I'm just a bit of a cheapskate. So at the end of the day, I would prefer to work within a medium like this than put more money into something that's probably not going to get anywhere because of the way that I've done it, not because of the skill from these other people that have worked on it. People can make beautiful films. There are a lot of films out there that look exceptional, that have exceptional special effects and exceptional sound design and exceptional everything, and it still might just be a crap film because the story's not any good, or the acting's not any good, or it was a gender over story. It was immutable characteristics over character. Sometimes that's what happens in films, and it seems to be happening more and more and more. hence why I watch a lot of older stuff, not a lot of newer stuff. At the moment, I'm watching Deep Space Nine. I've gotten all the way through most of it. I'm on second half of season 7, which is where it ended, and then I might go and watch Star Trek Enterprise, not because I'm watching it for this beautiful utopian future, but because it's good character drama that happens to be in an environment which I like, which is, you know, spaceships and stuff and weird aliens and stuff. Although the more I watch it, the more I realize a lot of these aliens are just people in makeup. I mean, instead of just having a hardcore capitalist human, so we'll pick Star Trek Deep Space Nine, there are these characters called Ferengis. So instead of just having a white guy in a suit like Donald Trump or someone like that, they've got these short little big-eared weird aliens that are hardcore capitalists, and their religion is capitalism, and and everything they do is to make a dollar. So it's sort of fun because then you don't watch it and go, oh, they're making fun of my people. No, you watch it and go, these are aliens that think this particular thing. But the reason that it can resonate is because you know it's representing something else. And that's fun. And that's interesting. And sometimes I find it annoying because I watch it and go, yeah, it's just people. It's just humans in a suit. It's just a short human, just a tall human. It's just a human in a suit. Again, not my point. I told you I ramble. So, chickpeas. Now, this story comes up because occasionally working in the mornings in a servo, so you've got all the people coming either off shift from their night shift or going on shift. So they've all gotten up. A lot of them don't seem to like their jobs, don't really seem to like where they're going, or just aren't necessarily morning people, and they've had to get up and go to work. So they stop in, they get coffee, or they get some sort of garbage drink that's just 99% sugar and guarana, whatever the hell that is and is meant to do. What's taurine? There's videos going around that's saying it's horse semen, which is, I mean, gross, and seems to be a very expensive product to be putting in a $2 can of Red Bull, but whatever. So a lot of people just aren't happy. Now, what happens with the tills is when someone hasn't paid for fuel, to remind the checkout operator, it just makes this horrible beeping noise at you, and it will continue to make the horrible beeping noise until that gets paid or gets put into a invoice, into a sale, so that it can then be paid for. Once it's in a sale, then it doesn't really beep at you. But the problem is the computers can't have two sales going at once. If you have one sale, you can put it on hold and then you've got to come back to it. But when you have a long line of people and then one person takes up your time and then the next person's been waiting, so then the machine will start beeping because the next person hasn't paid, and then even when they get to pay, because if it takes too long, you end up with a whole row of people that haven't paid yet, so the computer just has a hissy fit and it's just beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping at you to let you know that people haven't paid. So this one day, this guy puts a crap ton of fuel in his car, and then he walks in. He doesn't come to the checkout. He doesn't do anything like that. He sort of wanders past the sandwiches, and then he wanders past the donuts, and gets really close to the door of the donut thing, like seeing if any of the donuts look any good. All donuts look pretty good, to be honest. Looked at the pies and the sausage rolls, stood there and stared at the coffee machine for a few minutes, and then turned around and he's going through all the chips. It was like he picked up every single pack of chips and read the ingredients of every single pack of chips. I don't know why you would do it. They've all basically got the same 4 ingredients. The other thing that would be different is like flavor. Anyway, and then he gets to the next aisle, which is like bread and noodles and that sort of stuff. And I suppose he didn't look at every single one of those items, but it seemed pretty close to the fact that he had to pick up every item in the store and look at it. Then he goes back to the fridge. Now, you'd think someone that's looking at the contents of every single thing to see whether it's good for you or not would then go to the fridge and maybe buy a bottle of water or a kombucha, or I don't know, hell, even a Diet Coke or Pepsi or something like that. Something that's not full of sugar, something that's... No, he grabs the sugariest energyist drink that he can. I don't know whether it was Mother or Red Bull or Monster, or I can't remember what it was, but those big 500ml cans, he grabs a couple of them. They were on special, like 2 for $7 or something. So, a liter of energy drink for $7, I guess, is pretty cheap. I mean, a liter of water would only have been a couple, but whatever. And then he walks over to the counter. So I've served probably 10, 15 people since he's come through, maybe even more than that. I swear it was 20 minutes, so maybe even 60 people. And then he comes to the counter and I say fuel on whatever. And then he looks up and has to look out the window to see where his car was, what was going on. There was something parked in front of it. So he has to, sort of move to the side a bit, and other people have to step out of the way because there's now a line formed again. And then he goes, yeah, pump. So let's just say it was 7. I don't remember what it is. And then I bing up the Red Bulls, and then I put his fuel. Well, I put his fuel through because we had to put fuel through first. Put his fuel into the machine, bing up his Red Bulls, ask if he would like any chocolates because we have to, it's our job. Ask if he had a Flybuys card, again, because it was our job. He said no. And then I told him the price. Then he takes out his phone and starts transferring money on what seems to be the most convoluted banking app ever known to man. It's like not beep, beep, beep. It's like touch the button, punch in a code, touch a button, punch in a code, touch a button, punch in a code. Honestly, it took him so long. And then he looked up, and on the little counter next to the register, there's a clearance thing. And he looks up, and there's a clearance thing there. Now, mind you, I have to finish serving him or put it on hold and come back to him. But he walks from the register the few steps to the clearance thing and then picks up a pack of chickpea chips that are on clearance. They're like 50% off. They're still like $5 or something like that. That's whatever. And then he has to read the ingredients. First of all, it's chickpeas. Who the hell else? Who cares what else is with it? It's chickpeas. It's essentially going to be chickpeas and salt. It's a baked or fried snack product in a bag. It's going to probably just have a crap ton of salt and whatever the ingredient is, whether it's a potato chip or twisties or whatever. One of the biggest ingredients is going to be salt, but at the end of the day, it's chickpea chips. Who the hell cares what's going to be with it? In my opinion, it doesn't matter. So then he puts them down on the counter, and I added them to it. But the problem with adding it to it is then he has to change the amount that he was transferring in the bank. So then it's still using that same convoluted app again that he obviously had to start again because for some reason he must have logged out of. Or maybe it does it automatically, or I don't know, some people just getting acutely paranoid. I had a guy who fully looked like a meth head. He bought 1 can of Coke and he swiped his card. He grabbed the whole machine and tilted it on its side so that I couldn't see it, put his brim of his hat on it, stuck his hand over the brim of his hat and punched in his PIN code for the $3 for the can of Coke and then put it back. Either he's got more money than God, or there's just something wrong going on. Anyway, back to the guy buying the chickpeas. There's now like 10, 15 people in line, and all of these people are probably most of the way through their coffee by now. Half of them have opened their Red Bulls and their Cokes and all the other stuff that they're having. Half of them are eating their sausage rolls or their sandwiches or whatever they got for breakfast. People have come from Hungry Jack's next door to pay for their fuel. So I've got the till going bing, 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 bing at me. Well, this guy now has to transfer more money. Then he touches the little thing on the side again, punches in the code, and instead of tap, which is what these things are called, tap and go, it's not tap and go. It's, for him, it's like he was throwing Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, at a dark elf. He smashes his phone down onto the FPOS machine, whack. I can feel it on the bench that my hands are touching. He hit it so hard. Anyway, then I said, chickpea chips. I'd never pay to have a chickpea in my mouth. And his couple of guys behind him pissed themselves laughing. And he just looked at me and went, chickpeas are fine. grabbed his stuff and walked out. And as he's walking out, I went, "Do you want a receipt?" And he went, "Oh, yeah, I do need a receipt. Can I get a separate receipt for the fuel and the other stuff?" And I said, No, you can't. Gave him the receipt. He walked out. And then I just got through everyone else. It was a perfectly normal, ordinary, everyday. Hang on, I need a water. Anyway, I just said, "Have an awesome day," as he walked out. Not really what I felt. In the immortal words of Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop to look around once in a while, you could miss it. Or as I say, if life gives you lemons, squeeze the crap out of that shit, add vodka to it, and have a good time for a while. I don't really have anything else to say. I just thought I'd impart that story. It turns out that I missed a couple of bits. None of them were really important. It was just an extra couple of steps of him deciding he wanted extra stuff or changing his mind. But I swear he was in the store for 30 minutes. Yeah, it was fun. It was weird. It was real. And that's one of the stories that I wanted to do as a skit, but not really that much happened for it to be skit worthy. And that's all I've really got to say about that. Be excellent to each other. Have a really good evening. Don't let 2021 hit you in the ass on the way out. And I'm outie.